Hey everyone, Duality here with another 2v2 analysis, this time with Clew. Again, these people are based mostly around my rank, which at the time of this is just higher diamonds, roughly 11-1200 MMR. But it's good to throw someone to the wolves and see how they react in various situations. So, let's see what he does right, what he does wrong, things to improve on, things to look for, stuff like that. So here he's grabbing the boost, but he's backing up, yeah, and he's able to get a challenge, but the problem is that realistically he would be better off just running back and letting me take hold of the play. And that's very common, is just trying to keep challenging because you know you can hit something, but even though you might hit it, realistically might not be the best play end-wise. So I try to just pop it over to him. He kind of just stops and waits a little bit too long. Just kind of mechanical mishap will be improved with practice. So here he's just too far under and there's not much he can do, and he's kind of following that. So he's very unaware of what's going on around him, very just oblivious to maybe who all is up, gunning for it, stuff like that. So he's going back here, waits for me to jump it up, and it's just slightly wide. Decent opportunity, or try there. An air roll shot would have been a little bit more successful, but that's not something you always think of, at least for a while. So he's following this and he's curving back in. I'm not sure how much boost he has, but it probably might be a better idea to let me take it, and then just grab boost. If you know your teammates in net, it's, just make sure that you're good to continue the play, because you don't want it to die out after a clear happens. Here's a good challenge. Kind of waits a little bit too long, gets a weak flip. Just hesitation is dangerous, especially at higher level play like this, or something like this. So I'm taking it up. He's just running around midfield here, which is basically where he wants to be, not too far back or forward. And that was kind of an awkward light touch, but I'm able to just keep play of it. So he's going up here, but an aerial shot wasn't important there. Just a lot of the things that tend to slam it off the wall and give possession back to the enemy. And again, you see him kind of just going at it. A lot of people just, they know they can jump, aerial, and dodge, so they kind of just want to go at it and then go from there. But you kind of see how really important it is to take the time to understand the play and what's going on, and really thinking about your shot before you make it. And the more you think about it and force yourself to think about these different plays, the quicker you'll be able to. It's not always going to be a big deal. Soon it'll just help you how you subconsciously react to things. So he's taking this around its forward, taking their boost and just heading back. I have the play. He's a little bit too far back to push on it. Luckily they're kind of just taking it upside. And here, pretty dangerous. He was in kind of a dead zone to where he's too far up to save and not close enough to really challenge. So he's kind of just watching that, panicking around net. But that just tends to happen. High level gameplay, the ball's flying around, so it's important to just kind of slow yourself down and, like I said, just make sure that you're making the right touch and really thinking about where it's going to go afterwards. Again, that's a situation where he kind of just jumped up in the air a little bit too fast. If he waited, he would have been lower in regards to the ball and could have gave it more vertical momentum. So that's something to think about. So here I should be going for the ball, and he should be kind of going around, but he's tending to stay in front of the net. Whether or not it's trusting that I'm back there, that can be bad in that if I know he's always in front of me going to challenge, a bad challenge can off-put me. So a shot where I would normally save could get past me just because of the chaos of both of us being there. It's just a mechanical mishap, not just comfortable from the wall there, jumping off a little bit too horizontally and not into where it's going. So he's kind of watching this, going up as he should be, just not as fast enough to beat the player already at it, but I'm back so he's able to challenge. And he has the right idea there to jump up and just keep the ball going down towards the enemy net. Just misses a little bit. And there he sees that I'm kind of just walking it out to him, so he's right to take it, and just wants to challenge here. and he just waits a little bit too long. And even though he gets that, that's kind of right back in enemy hands, although the enemy just runs away from it. But that's why it's a good idea, like in challenging situations like that, you know, to make sure that you're getting that height advantage over them as quickly as possible, so you can make sure that it ends up going their way. Okay, so kind of a weird kickoff there, just a miss. But he's playing it in a smart place right now. He sees that they can't make some sort of big clear. But at the same time, he's a little too far back to keep the drive going. So, you know, that's where you really got to just take it as it is and try to just, you know, practice understanding where the ball's going to go and different passing plays you can make. So that'll end it. And, well, for him, so we're going to swap over to watch it from my point of view. And that way, it'll give a nice understanding of how I see everything going on from my perspective, and some other angles of approach and like popular ways that people just go at certain situations here. So, you know, I'm kind of just like threatening up and just playing it back to see what happens. If I pop it up, he can kind of push it forward, kind of just gets a slight miss there, no problem. I can just make a line back to net and make sure I'm picking up some pads, and I'm not jumping off right away. I'm just playing it with them, you know, putting some pressure on the opponent, never just throwing myself at the ball. And there I'm passing it to Clew. He's just a little bit too far forward, and it wasn't the best pass either. So luckily he jumps over me here, and you see I'm just taking it slow, and I'm making sure that my challenge pushes the ball towards the net. You know, I'm able to just body whatever hit the rebounding. So, and I kind of want to just pop it over to the side, get some height on the ball. And he's there, so I just want to circle back, grab this boost. I see the enemy's close in net, so I just launch it there off backboard. Teammate's just a little wide there, but I could have made the shot, so that's not really his fault. So, and here I'm just trying to pop it out, but I didn't get the last flip on. And in that instance, because I kind of could tell that my last flip wouldn't really do anything, I didn't flip. But this also is something to look at for a second here. So, slows down a bit. Get it going. So right now, my teammate should be turning around and just as I am. So, and he should be attacking this. So I'm going to just try to see and basically just make sure I can get behind the ball no matter what happens. So he's, I believe, a little late. So I just need to jump up, and the idea is just to get inside so the ball is like on the outside of your car facing away from the net. So I'm up, and then I'm still, you know, it's like just about to go in, but I made sure that I jumped up to the left of the ball so I can dodge right, and I'm able to push it out just by making sure that I'm placing my car in that smart spot in the first place. So here I'm just going to play it slow, see what he's doing, try to flick it over. Just good D by him. I didn't get the best drive on that. So I'm coming up, but I see him at it, so if he popped it, I could have kept it going, but just didn't want to throw myself to play again. So I'm watching what my opponent's doing, and I see there's some space, so I'm just going to challenge it, keep it going to the net, then I can turn around and kind of like pop it up, but I see him there. So again, I try to not just rush the play, but just keep it going, and so we can keep applying pressure. And here he just, enemy gets up just in time to block that, and I want to cycle around and cut it back in. And I know my teammate's up, so I'm kind of just play around midfield, watch this boost, see what his shot's going to do. Let Clew take it for a bit. I see a miss, so, you know, I'm not trying to just run up there and try to save it. You know, especially at 0-0, you know, I need to just make sure that I'm in a smart position to save anything coming in. So I'm just really trying to make sure that I'm not getting myself out of the play. Luckily I get an alright spawn here, and they just happen to miss on that. That could have been a goal. So here I'm just trying to put some pressure on it, and I know if I get up far enough I can dodge it forward. So I'm going to cut up here, see what they do, and I know they're pushing it over, so I'm just going to go back mid, start cycling around for that to come around. And I know my teammate was back, not whether or not he was close enough to get that, so that was definitely risky. kind of just seeing how far back he was, because I could have been punished much more severely. Luckily, we were able to get out of there. And here, yeah, just an awkward play. We can kind of just go through this again. So my teammate's up there, and you see he kind of misses it. So, and here, I know it's going to go off near post. It's not going to go in. So what's important is making sure that I'm not going forward. You see me immediately just drift backwards so I can try to pop it out. And that first touch was weird, so I start to go up, and the enemy is just right there before me. So realistically, just not so much hesitation, but not a strong enough clear out there from me. So nothing we can't handle though. So I'm just going to stay opposite, let him do what he needs, and that way, whenever they clear it, I can take it. So I'm just going to turn it around. That should be coming back towards him, but I know it's not, so I challenge that. And this is something that I do a lot, and this is a trickier situation that a lot of people may not know what to do as much. So it's coming down, and I want to get a little bit farther to the right and kind of push it up just towards the far corner. And a little bit too far to the left here, so I'm just booming it upfield, and I see my teammate coming here. He's behind me going back towards net, and at this point, I know the ball's going over me, there's not much I can do, but I don't hear any enemies go up for it, so I check, and I have a little bit of time. So it's coming down, and I see them there. So basically I just want to make sure that I'm able to wall it out, so I'm just immediately jumping left, as you see, because I know they're going to be just pushing it forward off that, and no matter what, it's going to knock it far into corner or something. That doesn't really give them a solid scoring opportunity. So just take my beeline back, let Clew do what he needs to. That's just a poor shot, kind of messed that up. So here I'm just going to go up, try to tap it in, and luckily kind of messed up on that save. So this is something we can peek over really quick. Okay, so my teammate kind of just panics and goes for it. So both of my opponents are facing the ball just as I am, towards their net. So if I can beat them to the ball, and basically, like at this point, and even before, I knew I was going to beat them to the ball. So now it's about just making sure that I can get it on target, because even if they get there, it would be rough to save it. So I'm just kind of making sure I point my car back, just carefully controlling my boost, and I'm able to just tap it through like that. You just watch it again, straight through. So I'm going up, get my vertical, and then I just point backwards, boost right before, and then I can just tap it down over them. And that could have been saved, but that was a rough one. He just wasn't ready for that. So I'm going to wait back here, see what happens with the kickoff, kind of push it up towards Clew. I know he's over there, so I can knock it over and take a pass. My opponents are kind of just walking away from this, so I'm going to just start putting on some pressure. Don't want to let them just have more time than they already had. Teammate's going up, so I just need to make sure I'm back to block anything, and I don't want to go for that because I know I just put myself out of the play. So again, I'm kind of just waiting patiently in nets to see what I can and can't go for. And I don't hear anyone behind me, so I'm kind of just taking it slow. I know my teammates on the other side, so I'm going to grab boost and kind of make this straight line as you see back. Just get there as quick as possible. And Clew goes over there, so I'm going to just cut it over and try to just pop it up over here. Luckily, the defender gets a nice tap. So that was a good reaction time by him. So I see him there, and I'm just going to be able to cut it up before him and then knock it over. So we can kind of peek over this. Okay. So at this point, yeah, we're both on the ground. It's coming towards me. And so basically, because I see him there, and he's going to be covering most of where this ball is going to go. So in order to get it around him, I really just have to really cast this ball as high as possible. So I'm not going to jump or anything. I'm just going to drive into it as it approaches my car, and now I just basically have a clear line of sight, so I just need to adjust and just kind of follow it through there. So again, that's just showing just how beneficial it is sometimes to not dodge, to just keep the ball momentum going along with your car by just driving into it and just kind of including the ball in where you run your car. And here I'm just bumping him, just going to keep the play in this corner, try to kill some time. Can let Clew cycle around, so I'm just going to start going back. He gets a decent touch towards their net, so I'm going to try to get there. Defender makes a save, but 2 seconds left, that's basically going to be it. So that's it for this. One of the major concerns that I saw was primarily just not thinking shots through, kind of just going up for them whenever you think you can hit them, and going up for it, which is very common for a long time of most people's career once you start aerialing. So just practicing putting yourself in better positions, not driving up too fast. It's easy to see a ball coming your way and just go extremely fast and just try to jump at it, and usually you'll just be too far forward and won't get the hit you need. So just prediction is obviously very important here, and that's especially true when it comes to like trying to clear a ball away from nets, predicting it off the backboard, stuff like that. It kind of choked me up a lot of times in defense, the way he was kind of constantly in front of my car swinging forward, because it's a little bit more proper to allow, the other teammate to start attacking the ball and then swinging around. So, I just had to adjust the way I could, just try to stay a little bit far back, let him do his thing, and make sure I was in a good position. So, if you have a teammate who's doing that, that's just what you need to do is, respect that. You're not going to change them, that game. So you just need to put yourself in a situation to stop shots from coming in. That way your teammate can have the confidence that they need. We did take it 2-1, but the more confidence you give your teammate, the more plays that they're going to go for, which is realistically good, just to keep drives going and stop the ball from constantly being in your pitch. So adjusting is important, but yeah, like I said, just kind of timing aerials a little bit differently, maybe stopping before you go up for an aerial. It's common to just brake and then start your fast aerial upwards, and practicing some power shooting, especially in the air, which I will have a video of shortly. Either way, that was still a good game. It didn't do too bad at all, and we still were able to take it from some players higher ranked than him. So let me know if you have any comments, questions, concerns. Thanks for watching, and feel free to send me a replay. Thanks.